Good morning, everyone. I welcome you all to episode number 20 of Engineering with Shamil. And today we are going to discuss about the emergency and exit lighting systems, which is very essential in building evacuation system. Okay, so this is what we are going to discuss today. And let's see what an emergency or exit lighting system is all about. So emergency and exit lights are basically battery backed lighting systems. Okay, they have a battery. Okay, so the way they operate is whenever there's a power interruption or power failure inside the building, what happens is these emergency lighting system or these exit lighting system, they will turn on. Okay, they will turn on automatically. Now the purpose of turning on automatically is to provide illumination for the occupants to escape from the building safely during the time of emergency. So that is why we are having an emergency and exit lighting system installed in the building. Okay, so the emergency exit light is basically a battery-backed lighting system which will automatically activate when the main power of the building fails. So this is how an emergency and exit light will look like. So the emergency light is the one which you see on the right, on the left side, and the exit light is the one which you see on the right side. So the exit light could come in different manner. It could come in different formats. So again, that is depending on the code regulations. So you have the NFPA and the Qatar Civil Defense regulations. If you are in other locations, they will have their own set of regulations on how the exit light should look like. Okay. Now, there are two main components for the emergency and exit lighting system. So the first one is emergency light. So the purpose of emergency light is to illuminate the corridors, the stairwells or staircase, okay? Or to simply put, to simply collectively call them, we call them as escape paths or egress routes. So in order to light up these paths, we need emergency lights installed. Okay, so that is emergency lights. The second item is the exit signs. So the exit signs will be installed near the door. It will be installed on the door to indicate that this is the door to escape. Okay, so the occupants will know that they have to reach that particular door where the exit sign is located so that they can escape from the building. So this is what these are the two main components of the emergency and exit lighting system. Now, what is the main purpose for having an emergency exit lighting system? So there are four reasons. So the first one is providing illumination. The main idea is that during the time of emergency, there is a chance for the building power to cut off. So if the building power is cut off, then we need to provide illumination for the occupants to safely evacuate, safely escape from the building. Okay, we need to light up the escape routes, and we need to also indicate which all are the exit doors, which all doors we need to use in order to escape from the building. So we need to provide illumination. That is the first reason. The second one is it will guide occupants to safety. The illuminated exit signs will show the occupants the way out of the building. Okay, so that is number two. The second one is it will prevent panic. Okay, so once the path is illuminated, for the occupants, then they can escape safely out of the building. Okay, so it prevents panic. It will avoid confusion. It will once there is a clarity in the path, once the visibility is there, it will reduce fear and it will avoid confusion. Okay, so that is number three. And the last one is that it needs to the main purpose of having an emergency exit light is to comply with the codes. So again, I am from Qatar, so we follow the Qatar civil Defense regulations. So we have to install the exit light and emergency light, and this is also based on the NFPA standard as well. NFPA standard is a global standard which almost all the countries are following. Okay, so all these standards emphasize the importance of necessitates the importance of emergency and exit lights. So these are the main reasons. So the first one is to provide illumination. The second one is to guide occupants to safety. The third one is to prevent panic, and the fourth one is to comply with the codes. Okay, so these are the main purpose of having an emergency or exit lighting system. So how do they work, or when do they work, to ask correctly? So during normal operation in any building, during normal operation, when the building is completely fine, when the lights are properly working, everything is normal, all the systems are working perfectly well, the emergency lights normally they will be off. Okay, during a normal situation, the emergency and exit lights will be normally off. Okay, now in emergency and exit lights there are two types. Okay, somewhere maybe in the next video, or just for your understanding, let me just explain to you briefly what are the types of the emergency and exit light. So there are two types when it comes to the maintenance aspect. So the first one is the maintained emergency light or maintained exit light. The second type is non-maintained emergency or exit light. So the maintained lights are basically, they will be kept on during, be it during the normal condition or be it during the emergency situation. Okay, they will be always kept on. The non-maintained lights are basically, they will be off during the normal condition, and during the emergency situation they will be on. Okay, so this is the difference between maintained and non-maintained lights. So here in the normal operation, when the main building power is on, the emergency light, if it is non-maintained, it will be kept off. Okay, if it is maintained, it will be on. Okay, that is a normal situation. Now, when the power fails, when the power failure occurs, the battery which is there in the emergency lights or the exit lights, it will actually turn on within seconds. Okay, it will turn on within seconds, and the light will remain on for 1 to 3 hours, depending on the code requirements and the battery capacity. Okay, so whenever the power failure occurs, the lights will be turning on. When it comes to the emergency and exit lights, they will be turned on in order to show the illumination, in order to provide the illumination, and these lights will be turned on for 1 to 3 hours depending on the code requirements. Okay, and this is based on the battery capacity as well. Now, when the power returns, that is when the emergency situation is sorted out, when when all the aspects related to the emergency situation is dealt with, is sorted out, is resolved, the power will return normally. Okay, and once the main power restores, the battery will be automatically recharged, and the system will be returning to the normal state. Okay, so during the time of normal condition, everything will be normal. During the time of power interruption, the emergency lights will be turned on in order to provide power, in order to provide illumination, and we kept on for 1 to 3 hours depending on the code requirements and the battery capacity. And when the power gets restored, the emergency lights will be turned off, and the main power will be turned off, and the battery will be recharged automatically. So this is how an emergency light will be working, or emergency or exit light will be operating. Okay, during the time of a building power disruption. So a simple analogy is that the emergency lighting is basically like a light source. Okay, so if you don't have an emergency lighting, it's like total darkness. Okay, it will be very difficult to find the way out. It will be very difficult to find the way out of the building, and it will create total panic, and people and occupants, when they actually walk, they might trip over. Okay, but if there is an emergency light, the path which you are taking, the path will be illuminated, and this can actually avoid fear and confusion among the occupants, and they can calmly and safely come out of the building, escape from the building. So emergency light is basically like your eyes during a power failure. Okay, so it's a simple analogy. So the key takeaway is that the emergency lighting ensures occupants can see and find their way out safely when the main lights go out. Okay, it's basically to provide illumination and to provide illumination and safe escape route for the occupants. Okay, so that is the main purpose of emergency and exit lighting. So with this, I will just summarize what all we have discussed. So the main reason of having an emergency exit light is that it illuminates the escape routes, it guides with exit signs, and it prevents panic, and it meets code requirements. Okay, so these are the four main purposes of having an emergency and exit lighting. So with this, I conclude my today's episode. Thank you for listening. And in case if you have any queries, questions, feedback, or doubts regarding this particular video about emergency and exit lighting, kindly post them in the comment section, and I will be happy to respond to your queries. And before I sign off, I would humbly request all of you to kindly like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, so that it will be a motivation for me to create more content with regards to the topic of emergency exit lighting, and other engineering related topics. Thank you once again, and I sign off, wishing all of you a good day.